Hello everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In this video lesson today, I'm going to do something for the kids. And I just want to show you a pic. Joe found these. I love it when he's the one actually going in and buying stuff because he knows it's stuff that I'm not used to working with. So it's a challenge. And it's basically for me to get out of my comfort zone. There's these little wood die cuts and they're with a Halloween theme. Pick them up at the dollar store, full transparency, only $2 for all of these. And so there's the skull is cool. So I'm going to create a few pieces. Again, for the kids, there's a little ghost, a witch's hat, spider web, a pumpkin, the word boo, a cat, spider, and then some bats. And the problem with these, there's no lid. So when I have the windows open, these are so light that they blow everywhere. So let me put these over here. But you get a really cool box at the end. So I've got a piece of just packaging. This is tissue, the tissue box packaging cut to 2.5 by 3.5. You can make them any size you want, but what I'm trying to do in the neighborhood is to start a trend of trading the artist trading cards. Instead of, the Pokemon cards and, all those manufactured stuff, is for them to start trying to create their own artist trading cards. So I took the word boo and two of the bats. And I got started, because it's going to take another layer. I primed them with one coat of the DecoArt Chalky Gesso Black. And it wasn't quite enough, so I'm going to put another coat, and I want to make sure I do the back as well. So that's that. Now, for the actual piece, I'm going to be using, I'm going to be creating a nighttime scene. And with a nighttime scene, I'm going to paint this with the Chalky Gesso Black because it's raw cardboard. Then I'm going to come in and a layer of the DecoArt Americana Enchanted Ultra Black Base Coat Paint. And then I'm going to come in with the DecoArt Galaxy Glitter. This is the Aurora Borealis Green. Just the name alone is beautiful. And then going to collage everything and then come in with high gloss varnish to varnish everything. The only thing I'm not sure what I'm going to do is if I want to put these I think what I want to do with the sky, I want to put the sky with the glitter, then varnish it, then put these on top because I want these to stay with a matte finish. Problem with that is that gluing something on a high gloss varnish is going to be a challenge because it doesn't stick. What can I do with that? Well, I can varnish. Let's pretend everything is glued. I can varnish everything around and then come in with the top and varnish it with the ultra matte varnish. Still the polyurethane, so it's good for indoor outdoor use, and it'll be super strong. So now that I've told you exactly how to make it, you can go ahead and make it and not even bother watching the video. So I'm going to turn these around, and what I do with the gesso is I shake it because it's so big. The bottle's so big, I just use what's in the cap. And then I get a small brush. Actually, I'm going to paint this piece here first. And with raw cardboard like this, I put 2 coats of gesso. Now you can actually buy actual artist trading card stock at, I think Michael's was carrying it, and even Amazon or wherever you buy from. Depending on where you shop, they can be a little thin. The goal is that you want them to be thick enough to withstand, to hold a lot of collage material, but you don't want it to be so thick that it doesn't fit into sleeves that a lot of collectors use. So I like to use 140 to 300 pound watercolor paper. And using these tissue boxes, the actual Scotty's box, they're perfect. Like you can see there's a bit of a curl now. That'll flatten out once this dries. You can already see how fast it's drying. If you're going to use actual corrugated cardboard, just keep in mind that they won't fit into the sleeves. It doesn't really matter. Kids don't care. But just keep that in mind if you're going to be creating really thick cards that, kids will have to find another way to store them. The dark side of vintage pieces that I do those on thick pieces because they're more for display art, not for keeping in a binder. All right, so that's that. And I don't care about the actual finish of this one. I don't need a perfectly smooth finish because once that dries, I'm going to come in with the Ultra Black base coat paint. Whatever's left in the brush, I'm just going to get rid of the excess on here. Where's my knife? Don't tell Joe I have a knife. And I'll just clean my brush basically on these pieces. Oh, I'm not going to have enough. Oops. Yeah, okay. Oh, gotta get some more. Now these little pieces here, I mean, this is just fun for, you know, because Halloween's coming up. But, you know, there are some of you out there that like the gothy look and, you know, the steampunk look and, you know, grunge look. So this, you know, depending on your style, this might be something you want to do all year round. Nothing wrong with that. Like my decor in the house is primarily, I would say it's modern, no, industrial farmhouse with a Caribbean flair to it. But you put something with some goth in there, you know, like how Joe on the lathe turned some goblets for me, which I'm going to paint. And he already told me, he goes, I want this color on these goblets. And that's not the style, but, you know, sometimes just some weird accent pieces really make a huge difference in your decor. There we go. Okay, so now I'm done with that. All right. Now, this Deco Chalky Gesso, I got an email from a somebody on Facebook who was watching this video, watching a previous video, why I use the Chalky Gesso instead of the actual, you know, whether I use a Deco Media Gesso or the Tradition Gesso. I love this because of the soft finish. It's like a velvety finish to it, and I find that I just like the feel of that. Whereas the Deco Media Gesso has a bit more of a shine to it. It's also much thicker. I find this to be just a really nice. So with gesso, whatever you use what you like. You don't have to use the exact same stuff that whatever instructor is telling you to use, unless there's a specific reason for it. There are some gessos though that are crap. I bought some, this would have been 12 years ago at the local art store downtown Hamilton. If you're from Hamilton, you know what store I'm talking about. And the stuff was absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Okay, so now it's time to come in with the Ultra Black base coat paint. And I'm going to use the same brush. And this paint is made specifically for the Enchanted line, but I want to see what it looks like with the Galaxy Glitter. Now, do you need to use this? No, because I've done a lot of pieces just with this Chalky Gesso as the base. See, the Chalky Gesso, it just takes this so beautifully. Now, when I was learning how to, we're learning this particular product, the line, the Enchanted line, I used this on raw cardboard, and it just sucked up all the paint. I thought, nope, because this line, well, really, any art supplies up where I live is very hard to come by, so I have to go to Michael's. And we all know Michael's is pricey, especially in Canada. So I'm very frugal with the paints that I'm trying out if they're hard to get. But you can always, depending on where you are in the world, you can always get the stuff direct from Deco Art. You can go to Amazon. There's some of their products on there as well. Okay, that takes care of that. Now I'm going to come in and just... Now I'm just going to put another layer on here because I see some little unfinished pieces. I want to see what that looks like. And I have the excess paint. But I have another piece that's already done, so I'm going to actually come in with another coat of that. Now, when you're also priming pieces, prepping them, make sure you don't use too much paint, especially when there's little holes, otherwise they'll get plugged up. You'll have to come in with a pin. And we've got some different types of projects coming up. So I've listened to you guys where you want to see different. This had a piece of tape on there. You can see a line. I'm going to actually be doing some jewelry, mixed media jewelry, and those of you that don't know, Joe and I, not so much me now because of my arthritis, we make custom handmade pens. And I'm going to be creating, I'm going to wood turn a pen, and I'm going to be showing you the pieces, and I'm actually going to create it, paint it with wood, because that way you don't have to use exotic woods. We use exotic woods and resin to make our pieces, but if you want to learn to do something really unique with minimal expense, unfortunately, if you want to do pen turning, you have to have a lathe. If you're in the US, you guys are lucky because the stuff is a lot less expensive down there. Up here, we have to bring this stuff up. So we're going to be doing some videos on that where you can make some really interesting pieces, and not just wood. We're painting and staining and using some really interesting things, collage stamping, and you can create some pens where you might not necessarily want to make them custom, but just they're, what's the word? It's more of just a unique, a one of a kind. And that's where we're actually shifting our focus is to more one of a kind instead of custom. We can't keep up anymore. All right. Just really putting a good coat on this one because I did a video, which is right now that piece is drying, and I need to make another card just to show the same technique on that video, from that video, just with a different color. So that's what this piece is for. All right, that's that. So we're good to go. And that's ready to go. So now the next step is basically to come in with the Galaxy Glitter. Well, let me just bring out some pieces that I want to show you, because this is important. This is important. I did some swatches. I always do these swatches when I'm learning about product. So I created on cheap sketch paper, just with the DecoArt Chalky Gesso, the black, which is what I use. This is just using the ultra black, and you can see that I don't like the finish on that. That's just raw paper, and it just sucked everything up. So now I use a combination of this and this, but look at the difference. Okay, so that's 3 coats. So, and this is 2 coats. Then from there, on that black paper, I was experimenting with the paint, and I found out that the paint I'm going to be using leaves a very matte finish that you need to put gloss on top of it, especially if you're, wanting that high shine. So then I experimented with doing multiple swatches, and with the varnish, and then I came up with, okay, well that's with a lot, and then I came in with this example, and this is what we're going for. So this one here, this is with triple thick, and this is with the DecoArt the Americana Duraclear High Gloss is this one here. Pretty close, except the Duraclick, Duraclick is the pen I'm going to be demonstrating in an upcoming video. The triple thick, I touched it by accident, so it left a big glob of whatever, but look at that. Okay, so the key to this project is going to be using as little of this product as possible. Okay, we don't want that. Okay, we want even less than that. Because if you put too much on, then you're not going to see the little pieces. So you shake it well, and that's even probably too much. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to, in one swoop, put that on there, then spread it out. You have to make sure the whole piece is covered. Go the other way. And the beauty of using, whether it's on the gesso or the ultra black base coat, because it's a matte finish, you can see very easily what didn't get covered with the product. And I'm just going to spread that out this way. And I can turn and I can turn. I can then pick up some from here, move it here, because it's so heavy with the actual glitter. And the glitter, it's so holographic. I mean, it's just not holographic. It's so dense. You don't need a lot of this product. That's too much there, so I'm just going to spread it around. Okay. See? Now I'm going to do the same thing here. And you know what? Let me do it in a different color. Let me use Green Potion. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. Put that beside it so I know which color it is. And the Green Potion. That's not what I want. Nope, I lied. I lied. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Wrong one. This one. The Aqua Meteor. That's what I want to use. Let's put that over here. You know what? Let's try an experiment. The holographic illusion paint and then the galaxy glitter on top. Let's see what happens. I'm just going to blot out my brush. I'm not going to add any water to it. Let's see what happens. Ooh. So the glitter in this one is much finer. This has got that stupid piece of tape, but this is just a demonstration piece. Okay, so I'm going to wipe out the excess. I'm going to do a swipe down, blotting the brush, just picking up the excess. I don't want it to be too heavy with this. Oh, this is really interesting. That's really cool. It's already starting to dry. So, but look at the difference. Look at the difference. So this is the galaxy glitter. That's a holographic illusion. Look at the difference on that. I wonder what would be... See, that's much harder to see now because it's so much. But let me just quickly... This is just a demo piece. I wouldn't do... If this was a piece I was selling or giving away, I wouldn't speed up the drying time because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want any cracking or anything because it hasn't had sufficient time to dry. So let me come in now with the Aqua Meteor. Let's see what happens. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's a lot of glitter. Okay, that's too much. But when I look at this, this would make a really cool necklace. Just a very simple piece. Okay, so that can be, wow, that's beautiful, but that's a lot of glitter. That's too much. It's too dense for me. It's too much. So I will put this over here to let that dry. And we will use this piece. Now you can take a look at here. See how it's drying to a really, really matte finish. Yeah, so I'm not a fan of the matte. I like that high gloss when it comes to this stuff. So I'm going to let this dry for about a good half hour, then come back, and then we'll start building it up. All right, so I've got my Americana Duraclear Ultra Matte Varnish. I'm going to varnish these little guys first, then we'll talk about the other pieces. Not a lot. And again, make sure that when you varnish little pieces like this, you varnish all sides, but where there's little holes, like the eyes, like these little eyes, make sure that you don't put too much product in there, otherwise the holes will be plugged up. Now what would be cool with this, and I am going to do it, I'm going to put a little bit, well, probably some, fill this in with modeling paste in here, and then I'm going to drop in some orange color, some orange paint. I want the eyes to glow. Now, if you had glow-in-the-dark paint or glow-in-the-dark finish. Now, I have some glow-in-the-dark medium here somewhere. I haven't unpacked all my boxes yet. So, and this does not take long to dry at all. That's dry already. Let's turn it around. Now, if you're already an expert on varnishing, you can just go ahead and skip to the next section. But I'm going to continue doing this, especially if you're a beginner, to learn how to, just to get some tips on varnishing. The bigger the brush, the better, of course. And for these little pieces, though, I like a smaller brush. That way it's easier to control. Oopsie. And make sure you wash your hands after varnishing small pieces like this, because the stuff gets on your hands and it gets all sticky and ugh. Now, if you really want something to shine, if your piece was more flat, you could put the iridescent paint on top of these pieces to have a little bit of extra shine on it. All right, so we're good to go on these little guys. Now I'm going to put that brush in there and get a larger brush. When varnishing, the bigger the brush, the better. I could actually use my varnish brush for this. I have it marked with tape. So let's take a look at this. So look at that. So that's the holographic so let's get this right. So this is the holographic black, holographic illusions, the green potion first, and then a layer of Galaxy Glitter Aqua Meteor. Okay, which looks like that. That's actually quite pretty. It's really nice. And then this is just the black and Galaxy Glitter by itself, which I like because it's much more sparse. Now I'm going to take the Duraclear High Gloss Varnish. I've already shook the bottle. And let's put a full layer on there. And it's up to you how many, that's not even close to being enough. It's up to you how many coats of varnish you want to put on your piece. Now, if you're making stuff for kids, especially if they're going to be traded around, you want to put enough coats of varnish because, they're used. They're going to be handled. Let me just varnish this one too. And I'm not using triple thick for this because triple thick is really good for solid surfaces like wood and metal and stuff like that. But for flexible stuff, I'm not a fan of the triple thick for that. My favorite though is the liquid glass. Here we go. So I'll let that dry. I'll come in and put 2 more coats of varnish on it, and then we will glue these little bad boys down. Okay, so this is all dry. Look how beautiful that is. That's the other one. So what I found, I still have a step to do, is that these kind of get lost. So I'm going to put the yellow, orange behind there, and this I can choose to do it any color I want, but I'm going to leave it because it is a Halloween thing, and that stands out a little bit more, but I'm going to put that aside because that's not the one I'm doing. So I'm going to get the Decor Art Media Fluid Acrylics Peril Orange, and I don't need a lot of this, and I just want to, I'm going to paint the paper and cut it instead of pouring the paint inside there. So I just need just that. That's all I need. And actually, because I have a lot of these, I'm just going to paint a lot more. So that way I can do all the others. Okay. And I can, because this is not contaminated, I can take this and put it back in the bottle. Okay, that's done. So what I need to do is, so first I'm going to speed up the drying time of this. Done. I'm going to get the matte medium, and I'm going to cut a tiny, I'm talking a tiny sliver. Okay, so it's just that. Oh, boy, that's tiny. So like that. Oh, seriously. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That. So I need another little piece. Oh my god, this is just too small for me. Oh, I think that's too big. I think that's too big. Oh, no, it's okay. So I cut that down a little bit more. Oh, this is so small. And I could use glue. I'm just going to use matte medium. And just clean that. There we go. Flip him upside down. See, now that I want them to go upside down, they're not going to go upside down. Seriously. Okay, which is the front side, which is the back side? Oh. I have to do this when taking my glasses off, which means I can't see anything else. I could have, there we go. Where are you? There you go. I could have put the paint on the actual background, but no, that I'd be really limited as to the positioning. Okay, so let's do you this way. Right there. Beauty. Now the way these are cut, they've got little pieces of wood inside that makes it look like they're looking this way. What I could have done is on the other side, so he'd be looking around, looking the other way. I think, do I have time? Yep. I'm going to do that instead. I want him facing the other way. There we go. Let's get rid of the excess medium. There we go. So with the little cutouts, this one's looking this way and the other one is looking the other way. So at this point now, so I just have to let that dry. Oops, that paper moved up a little bit. And then from here I just have to decide, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to leave them flat black or do I want to paint them with another color? And I'm going to leave it flat. I'm going to leave it with the flat black. Sorry, the flat black paint, but I'm going to put a shinier varnish on them so they stand out a little bit more, because right now they're kind of hidden. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to varnish them first before putting them on the card. So I'm going to let these dry for a few minutes and then we'll varnish them and then glue them to the card. So I want to do something first. And of course, yeah, okay, I'm changing my mind again. Not really. I don't want to leave this as flat black because look, even with the little orange things, these don't really stand out. So I want to make them a little more iridescent, but not so shiny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to experiment with roughly 2 drops of the Decor Americana Enchanted Iridescent Top Coat Acrylic Blue. And beside that, 1 drop of the Decor Media Fluid Acrylics Carbon Black. And I'm thinking I probably should have used ultramarine blue and burnt sienna, but we'll see. We'll see. And I need a small little brush. So I'm going to take that with a little bit of the black. The good thing with this is that I can change the variation on the piece, and I want to make sure this is lightly done so it doesn't cover the whole the orange of the eyes. So it puts a little bit of a shimmer to it. There's not enough there, so I'm going to put a little bit more of the iridescent medium. Put that there to dry. We'll see how that one works. I didn't want it to be really, really super shiny. I just want to make enough contrast. And I just realized I probably should have used green because the sparkles in here are more green. Oh well. Is that enough? Okay, I'm going to let that dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to pull out the turquoise. And we'll see what happens with that. Okay, so this one here has more black. That has more of the iridescent medium. Let's take a look. Which one? See the difference? How this really stands out? I'm liking this one, but I want it more on the turquoise side. So, rinse the brush. Now, if I had the time, I would turn around, paint these black again, and then come in with a fresh layer, like with the gesso. So I'm just going to come in with the carbon black and just roughly put a coat of paint on that, being careful that I don't put any paint inside the little holes. That's the beauty with this stuff. It's all interchangeable. That's why you don't have to have a gazillion quantity of paint products. You can interchange them. Okay, so with that done, on the same brush, I'm going to load the turquoise. And oh, let me just quickly hit that with the heat gun. Hopefully it won't fly around. Woo! That's better. Oh, that is so much better. There we go. Now that's going to be more cohesive with the actual piece. So the sides, I mean, you can paint the sides whatever you want. Because they're black, I'm going to leave them like that. And then the boo, you know what? I'm going to just load the turquoise iridescent paint right on the dirty brush and pop that in. I want this to be really like almost where it's like almost like an invisible, a card with invisible elements, and then boo just really stands out. Rinse the brush, and now I'm going to use that for the mediums. And now with this, I could turn around and I can varnish them. Let me just hit them with the heat gun again. Because there was such little product used, it doesn't take much. Okay, that's the high gloss varnish. And just going to apply. I'm only going to need one layer on this. I don't know if you guys can hear that background noise. That's Joe's making me a raw wood pen for a project I'm going to do here on the channel. and on my Facebook page, we're looking at putting together some raw pen kits so you guys can use mixed media techniques on the pens without having to have a lathe. So we're going to be sending some out to test, and we'll see what happens. But I am going to do quite a few videos to show the process. There we go. That takes care of that. Rinse, rinse, rinse. So, okay, I've got so much stuff here. I'm going to use the matte medium. No, I'm not. I'm going to use the liquid glass as my glue. Let me just, can I just speed up the drying time of this? Oh, that's already dry. So I'm going to go into the back. Because it's already a gloss varnish, that's going to be fine with this. But I am going to pick up the excess on the edge. Even though it's a gloss varnish, what I don't want is I don't want clumps of medium. And I am going to have to put something heavy on this to hold it flat. Go inside the holes. Okay. Okay, you're looking right. So I'm gonna spread that around. No, you're going to be down. Oh, should have did a dry fit. Should have did a dry fit. You're looking left. Like that. Polyurethane varnish, I can actually wipe it with the cloth and not do any damage. And get paper towel. Come on, all my paper towels are stuck. Dry it. Where are you? No, I want to put you up here. There we go. And then this one here. You know, when I do work with this stuff this small, I have to take my glasses off and then I can't see. There we go. That's cute. Now I have to decide which kid I'm going to give it to. I'm going to give it to one of the quieter kids. The noisy kids, no. There we go. Right, that rolled in there. Let me get a clean brush. All right, so now I'm just going to go around the edge, pick up the excess, and then I'm going to put a book on this, piece of masonite, and then a book so it'll hold it flat. And because I'm already pressing, there's not going to be any excess glue or excess of the liquid glass coming through. Beauty. Alrighty. So that's that. So yeah, so I'll just put a piece of masonite, then a book on top, and the whole thing will be flattened. But it's pretty well. It's pretty well stuck in there. I can turn around if I wanted to, even with the Americana spray, the gloss spray. I can come in and with a spray varnish on this if I wanted to do that. I do that outside, and it's right now it's super windy, so I'm not going to. But there we go. There's a cute little. Let's see if you can see it. There we go. Little Halloween card and Halloween trading card. So I'll have to see who I give it to. But there's a simple little project. Kids can do it. So dollar store pieces, packaging from tissue. And the highlight of this is using the Galaxy glitter and the enchanted acrylics with some black paint. That's the highlight of this. to really make this pop. So I hope that you enjoyed this. And let me know if you create some holiday crafts for kids, and share it with me. I'd love to take a look at it. All right, so hope you enjoyed the video, and until I see you in the next one, stay inspired.